My name is Randy Bigley. Joining me on the podcast right now from Crestline Schools, Superintendent James Saxer. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Randy. Appreciate your time today.
No problem. It's going well. We were talking before we started recording here that the school's winded down.
Yeah.
As we record this is the last day of April. So May is pretty much the time where you just kind of wind things down for the year, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. We're finishing up with state testing.
Yeah.
And just getting ready for all the fun stuff. Prom is May 4th, and staff appreciation is the week of May 6th, and so really just excited to start winding down the year, and the kids are excited to get out, and so is the staff.
Oh yeah, I bet you've just completed your first year there, Crestline, right?
Yeah, it's crazy how fast it goes, but a lot of great work that's being done. It's amazing. Every school district has a 3-year plan. It used to be called the Comprehensive Continuous Improvement Plan, and they always change names. Now it's called the One Plan, but it's the goals that the district puts together for the next 3 years. And so we're part of what's called Cohort 1, which is, we finished our first 3 years, and now we're working on our second one. And so we've just literally, probably a week ago, submitted our plan to the state for what we're going to work on next year, which really is focused on ensuring our students are prepared for graduation. So we're looking at all those early warning signs that students are struggling, and if they're at a potential where they could drop out of school, we're trying to provide intervention supports to make sure that happens. And then we're trying to look at making sure we're providing quality instruction to our staff to our students that's challenging and rigorous, but also that's relevant to them. So they understand there's a reason why I'm learning what I'm learning.
So we're
excited, and even looking back further, last year, I wasn't here, but the district put together their strategic plan, and so they worked on developing their goals of what they wanted to work on, which focused on academic achievement, facilities and participation, family and community engagement, meaningful communication, and staff excellence. And so this year we worked on really collaboratively with our staff and using our district leadership team and making sure there's vertical communication, with the district leadership team, the building leadership teams, and going down to the grade level, or TBTs, we call them, teacher-based teams or departmental teams, and making sure that communication comes back up to develop what our action steps are going to be over the next 3 years to make sure that we achieve the goals that we want to achieve. And then making sure that we're touching base on them. Really every month we share that with the board so that they're aware and the community is aware of the things that we're doing to make sure that we're achieving our goals, because we want our community to be involved in everything that's going on in school. It's one of the nice things about the having a pre-K-12 building is everybody comes to that building, and so we want our families to be involved, and we want to provide opportunities where there's family engagement nights or community engagement nights where people can come into the school and see what great things we're doing for our kids.
Yeah, and you've had a few of those this year, haven't you?
Yeah, it was great. You talk about an amazing turnout, and it's amazing to see. And that's one of the things I truly love about Crestline is they are vested in their kids. Good. They love the kids. That's one thing I love about our teachers, and that's one of the things as we look at staff appreciation of really thanking them for the work that they do, because they really do. They go above and beyond everything that you would think of a contractual teacher. I come at this time, I leave at this time, but that's not what our staff is. They're involved in committees and making sure that the things that we're doing are providing quality education to make sure that our kids are prepared for the future, which we don't even really know what it looks like yet. But you got to provide those foundational skills. So when kids look, learning how to collaborate and be able to communicate effectively with people, and that's one of the things we're realizing is as we're graduating students, it's more about soft skills. Helping them understand that businesses will say, I can teach you what I need you to know for doing your job. What I need is your ability to communicate, to collaborate with other people, to make sure that you're going to be a team player, to make sure that you're working for the organization and moving everybody forward. And that's what I love about our staff. They are vested in our students. They're in Crestline because they love the kids, they love the community, they love the families. Many of them live here, and so that's one of the reasons why we want to support them and make sure that we thank them for all that they do.
Sure, very important that you thank them for everything they do, right?
Oh, absolutely.
When's your last day of school this year?
So May 23rd is our last day for students, and then the last day for staff is May 24th.
When's graduation this year?
So Sunday, May 19th
Okay.
at 2 p.m. So
Yeah.
we have 43 seniors that are graduating this year.
Yeah.
So we're excited for them.
I was going to say, it's kind of an exciting time, isn't it? To see
Oh,
that,
absolutely.
See these kids are all the way through, that have made it all the way through school, right?
Yeah, and to really embrace the future of, it's people are like, oh, I'm graduating, but it's not the end. It's really just the beginning of, us trying to launch them into their lives and into the career, because, everybody's making one of three choices.
Mm-hmm.
They're either going to college, or they're going to a career, or they're going into military service.
Sure.
So that's our goal, is to help them understand you gotta have a plan of where you want to go. And you can change that plan along the way. But at least you have an idea of a direction of where you want to go.
Right. Excellent. Yeah. So we're looking forward to exciting things coming up next year.
Yeah.
Any plans during the summer for Crestline? Any projects you're
absolutely. Yeah. So we, focused on the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at providing summer learning opportunities, almost like a summer learning camp.
Yeah.
We're going to look at doing that in June, a little bit in July, and then in early August we're going to do what we're going to call Jumpstart. To bring students in early, couple weeks, those first 2 weeks in end of July, beginning of August, before school begins. And that's kind of one of the things we realize is, they call it the summer slide, where students, they're not really doing anything over the summer. They start to lose their reading fluency, reading comprehension. And so we spend the first couple weeks of school trying to build that back up. But if we could begin that early, get the students in the schools, then we begin that process earlier. One of the things we're also looking at doing is providing almost like a bridge book, like activities for them to do over the summer. We're going to give them a book that they can read over the summer, almost like, hey, this is your first book for your library, start building on it.
Wow.
And you talk about, they always say the top 10 best way to become a better reader is to read,
Sure.
and so that's what we want to do, is help them to understand that, you don't have to do it all day long, but just take that 20 or 30 minutes every day and keep your skills moving, and keep them moving forward, so that when we come back to school, they're ready to go. And so we want all of our families, who are going to have a child in preschool or a child in kindergarten, to register, to make sure they do it over the summer, or they can even do it now, to make sure that we're aware that they're coming. Sometimes families just think, my kid's in preschool. We really don't know your child's in preschool.
Right, yeah, right.
So we don't know what your future is unless you register with the district. So, that's one of the things we're doing, thinking about making sure our students are academically prepared for next year. Other projects we're looking at, we're going to do some renovation projects. We have our tennis courts are going to get renovated, and then we're also looking at our track. Great. And so we want to make sure that those are in top condition, because if you think about it, the best way to prepare a student for the future is to have a well-rounded student. And education is not about the academics. And sometimes it's, you can utilize the extracurricular activities to encourage them to do well in school. We always need a motivator.
Sure.
And so, sometimes they're too young to understand the huge and major impact that having a diploma has on your future. But understanding that if they're vested in being a part of the school community, being a part of activities, extracurricular activities, whether that's sports or just groups, understanding that they're vested in something that's bigger than themselves. And that really helps them understand those soft skills of realizing that they're a part of a team. And it's just not about the individual, but helping them to develop that well-rounded education to prepare for the future.
Wow. So James, do you guys have a website or anything so people can keep up with what's going on?
Yeah, we're crestlinebulldogs.org. So easy to find. There's a couple Crestlines. There's one in California, but we're one in Ohio. So
awesome.
The Crestline Bulldogs.
All right. Well, James, we'll probably talk to you again. Probably, I don't know if we're talking again before the school's out, but it doesn't look like we'll talk to you probably fall time.
Excited to come back to school, and we'll be prepared for all our new kindergartner and preschoolers and new seniors.
That's an exciting time too. The beginning of the school year too, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one of the neat things is we do a staggered start.
Yeah.
So when we start school, with that first day, we'll come back on August 19th. We'll be students in grades 1st through 6th and 9th graders. So as they transition into high school, helping those students kind of get that first day by themselves. Yeah. The second day is going to be on August 20th. Is going to be 7th and 8th graders, and then students that are in grades 10 through 12. And then on August 21st, we'll start our preschool and kindergartners.
Nice. So, wow, great. Yeah. So, kind of looking forward to that'll be here before you know it, August.
Oh, absolutely. Summer goes so fast.
It does. It does. I don't know why it does, but it does, right? Well, James, thank you so much for coming in and all the listening, telling us all the great things going on with Crestline Schools.
Absolutely. Randy, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.